Ctrl V. So I have the list of customers. I'm not working with the phone number, so I can maybe copy and just place, just for the sake of having completion of numbers. Then another information we need is maybe sales rep. We can also have a credit amount, for instance, credit amount. We can have maybe a checker, can be anything, yes or no. I can also have what else again can I put here? So first of all, what is the essence of having your data validated? That is the most important thing that we must first of all understand. When information are being imputed into a system, and the system sometimes runs into millions of rows and columns, there's this check that will help to prevent putting values that are spurious or non-conformative. Those values can actually make a mess of data, so it gives a lot of headache for data analysts to clean. Because of it, there is need for putting a kind of a check and balance even as we enter the data into a system. So now what we want to do now is to have a kind of a check. This is customer ID. This customer ID, for instance, can be any number. These are customer names. I just have a particular 10, their phone number. Now their sales rep, maybe let's pick some people, maybe Roy, Charles, Joy, Brown, Meg, and then maybe Ben as names of rep. So these are rep names, for instance. Now you want to create a dialogue or a system whereby, as you want to assign, these are the official names for the reps, and these are the reps that are responsible to the customers, for instance, and you want to assign these names. You want to make such a way that you don't have names that are outside of this name represented in this place, because if it is entered, of course it's a normal name, a text, the system will accept it, but it will make a mess of the work, because it will give a lot of work headache to people that are analyzing or working on the system. So we now have to do what? Input our data validation. So how do you do it? You come to where you want to put up the data validation, and you just click on it, and you can roll it to any level you want. If this is where you want it to end, you can stop here. If not, you can even enter maybe as much. Maybe in the future you expect that you have more customers whose information will be entered that will be tested here, so you give that gap. Then when you have done this first, you now come to data validation and click on it. Click on data validation. Now it will now set up some dialog will come up, and it will ask you just any value. So you always ignore blank, because you know there's room for blank. So what do you want to put? What we have seen there is just like a list of name. So we'll click on list. It is list that we want to put up, and the source, where is this list coming from? So you come here and click on this source space. Then you come and click on this the names of the rep. It's possible you can add more rep later, so you can maybe give space for it if you want to, since it will still ignore blank. Then you click OK. You can also put up some messages on important notice too. So you can come to the input, say show input message when cell is selected. That means you are seeing the input message, it comes up like a drop down. Then once cell is selected, show these input messages. Then the title, maybe use a title sales rep personnel. Then what is your input message there? You can call it sales person, any name that you wish to call him, and you can now go to the error alert in case somebody put in something that is outside of what you want. You have the style, you have different style, can be stop, it can be warning, can be information. So if it is, for instance, stop, it is telling you to stop, and you cannot see maybe oh no with a quick exclamation mark, error message, please input the right name as a signal, and you can click OK. So you can see that this is for sales rep personnel. So when you now come over, you want to bring in sales rep here, and as you click here, it will give you the drop down to pick from. This is the names you have here. So when you click on Joy comes up. You come to the next one, you go to the option again, you can click on Ben. So if, for instance, you decide to type Andrew, if for any reason, and you move up and you shift enter, you see it is telling you to please input the right name. Oh no, please input the right name. So you can now give it the option to retry. So you have to now remove the Andrew and put the right name. And if later, maybe because you have given it a space, you want to now add James to your list of options, and you now come here and you click on it, you see that James has been added. You can now add James. So you can use this to kind of balance up with respect to entering data into our functions. Then the other one is create amount and checker. Checker can be, maybe you can have, for instance, for the checkers can be yes or no as an option. It's a boolean. It can be 1 or 0, it can be true or false. Any of them is the same. So this is a checker. So whenever you want to bring in your data validation, you come to the place where you want to work and you drag it down to give you the space where operation can actually occur. So when you have done that, you now go to your data validation and click on your data validation. So you go to your validation area, allow any value. What we are saying here is still a list, so we put it up a list. Now where is the source? Click on the source and we come here and you click on yes or no as your source. Then you can also go ahead to put up your input message and error. Even if you don't put it, for instance, it will still not allow for anything, but there may be all those extra write-up or incentive to show other maybe message may not come up. So if I come here now and for joy for Ben credit amount, I will now go and pick yes or no. It will still come up there. And if I put maybe for instance I now write none, you see this value doesn't match the data validation restriction defined for this. So it's the retire cancel of this. Now you see that it is still answering the same question, but you have not customized it to suit what the occasion demands. That is only the difference. So with it now you can be able to control the values that are entering into where they are supposed to enter. Now for credit amount, for instance, it's different from this list and the rest. We can come here and click on data validation and write whole number, and the whole number is between it can be anything not equal to less than. It is you that determine what can be there. So maybe you say 2000 and 7000. So this is the range where you want it to apply, and you click OK. And you now put 2000 out of when you put 15. Okay, I didn't carry up the data validation. That is why we didn't see it. I just wanted to see how it will look like. So let's come here and you take up your space as usual. Don't forget to take up your space. Then you now come and click on data validation. So do you want to extend the validation to this cell? Yes. So setting allow whole number between 2 years and say OK. So now you now come and put 2000 for instance, and you now put 15. It will tell you the value doesn't match the return registration. Now if I so much want to, I could have also gone ahead to set up the other parameters that I set. It will still give me whatever I demand of it. So it's telling you to retry. So let's go back again and reformat this again. So it is already set here, but we want to add some other extra. What is the title? Say client's contribution. Contribution for welfare. The error alert says stop. You can also look at some of these warning, and if assuming you put up warning, for instance, you see there's some level of difference between warning and stop, and you put your title, oops, then the message, please send in the required amount. Thanks. and you are putting on warning, and you click OK. Client contribution, oh, I did write it too, no problem. So you now put up the amount again. 2000 is okay. Then you put up 15 and move. You say please send in the required amount, thanks. You say continue, because it is a warning. And now since it's a warning, it is not final. So for instance, I say yes, continue. See that the 5,000, the 1,005 is allowed, and the next one may be 3,000, and I can put 40 naira for instance. It will still give me the same warning. Do you want to continue? You put yes. But if I am to alter that information, that validation information, and change it from warning and go to stop and click OK, then I come again and put the 15. Let's see what will happen. It says please send in the required amount, thanks, retry. So the 15 will not cross, unlike when you are just giving a warning. So there's a limit of what you can use the validation to do. So but the important thing is that it gives you the leverage of knowing the range of what should be done. So if I say retry, I remove the 15 and now put 5,000, it will now pass, and I put up the 3,000 again, and I put in the 40 again. The 40, I write it up. It will see tell me the same thing. So it gives us room to kind of check and validate.